Hey guys, so I wanted to make a video to address all the loners out there. It's mainly for men who have shut themselves in and basically are running away from all their problems. I just felt like I was just kind of inspired by my experience of being ugly. That video about that guy who eventually gets a girlfriend and gets married, and it's been years since I saw that video, and I saw it again. But I wanted to make this video, trying to address those, who kind of run away from family, from friends, from everyone in the world. And, I've been there. I actually dropped out of college about this January, so 9 months ago. I had not been doing too well the semester before, and I was so introverted, and I could have had an 89 in a class like that, and then I could have asked the teacher, and maybe brought it up to a 90, get a 4.0, or get an A in the class, and then I would have been able to get to computer science. But I couldn't. I just assumed, I overthinked, and I just thought, no, it's not gonna work. He's gonna reject me. I didn't even bother to reach out to try, and had been put into a major I didn't want, and it was just really rough. I dropped out because I didn't want to pay tuition for a major I don't care about, and I was working full time, just living just such an empty life. It was just work, and it was just work. Then I went home at 1 a.m. and then slept or read. I just read until 9 a.m. then slept and then woke up at 2 p.m. going back to work. And it really was a horrible, horrible, empty life filled with dread. But yeah, for those of you, who are struggling, you're not alone. It's you've probably been neglected in your childhood. For me, I lived in a household, parents divorced at 2 years old, empty house. I have an older brother and younger sister. They're 7 years older, and 7 years younger. And, my brother was in college, my sister was in China, and I just lived in a 2-story house by myself. But yeah, when you are completely alone, your instructors, the teachers, your parents, the most important lesson they could have taught you was that everything's going to be fine, that you're not alone. And when you don't have that in your childhood, it just hurts you a lot. So I kind of wanted to make this video for those of you who are struggling like that. For a long time, for probably from 10 to 12 years, I've just kept everything to myself. For a long, I thought I could do it all alone. No friends, no one to open up to. I would spend my days in my room. I'd basically know how to navigate the room, because even blindfolded, I would just know, pitch black. That was how I spent probably 24 hours in a room for 30 days in a row, and then maybe going out once. I probably have a social interaction for 1 hour for every 3 months, 1 hour. When I dropped out of college, it felt like the world was crashing down and I failed. I didn't even tell anyone, not even my own parents. No one knew for months. And I got the job just working as a cook, but I didn't know if my parents would care, or even worse, they might be disappointed. So I didn't tell them until came back home for spring break. It was honestly one of the lowest points of my life. And eventually, though, this summer, I had read Rudius Mushoku Tensei. It was basically a story about someone getting a second life. He was super shut in, and it just basically inspired me to kind of heal. It healed me a lot, and it also had someone that I kind of opened up my feelings to. Didn't really work out well, but eventually allowed me to connect with old friends, reach out to people, and man, people are a lot nicer in this world than you expect, and the world is a nice place. And like, I started off like this summer, working out again, taking care of myself, my skin, my diet, my lifestyle. I even started therapy, stepping out of my comfort zone to like just do things like talking to old friends, reaching out, even making impulsive decisions. I transferred to UTD like a month, like in July 20th. Like, I had basically less than a month to get in, and I was so surprised when I got in, and they accepted me into computer science, and I couldn't have been any happier. And like, days go by, weeks go by, and like eventually those same feelings of pain, of just absolute dread, just depression just comes in every so often. But the feeling I had before was so much worse. Like, like you just think about how far you've gone from like your rock bottom. For me, right, my probably darkest moments as a child was just like my online friends. When they had dinner, I was just waiting for them to finish dinner, because I didn't have a family to eat with, right? I didn't really do anything with anyone, like from age 7 to like age 16. Like, I really didn't do anything with family, with friends, just nothing really. So online friends were all I had, and that's the life of a loner, a netizen. Especially if you're always online, you're probably feeling the same way. I don't know your story, but I'm just kind of there to reach out. And if you're a guy that spends all your time alone, I just kind of want to tell you that your feelings are valid. It's okay to be weird. It's okay to be broken. It's fine, Everyone is struggling, but they have, support systems that you might not. And that's why it feels like you might feel out of place. You might feel like, why are you the one that is not successful, not living a good life? You see other people having so much fun, but it's just, there are systems that you don't have. I read a lot of emotional intelligence, Malcolm Gladwell, like self-help books, serendipity mindset, like stuff like that, right? I probably read like dozens on dozens of books, because reading's my hobby. And I'm sure, if you're alone, you probably spend a lot of time gaming, a lot of time either just watching stuff or like, reading, right? And it's hard to make this first move, right, to like talk to an old friend, but just saying hi, and you get to see like people really are nice. Just for me, I faked being happy, and then eventually people responded with happiness and kind, and I became happy, and now I could like continually become more and more optimistic. I'm still in the process of developing, of course. I'm growing my emotional strength, and like, in order to change my mindset, it took dozens of books. It took 3 years of just like actually trying to change my mind. But like the most important part was probably writing down all my emotions, and like, reading what my older self said. Like, he was really kind of sad, but he always is kind of wanted to spend time with those, his friends, even if he was just like kind of a loner, maybe like a third wheel to the group. But it's just, if you're struggling right now, please know that it can get better. It can get better. You're lovable. It took me to move to a whole new city to like, and drop out of college and transfer to a new place to find that in myself. But even if it's just a little bit, every day, just try to love yourself. Just try to write down your emotions, and maybe like, find someone once a week you can talk to. For me, it was a therapist. For you, it could be someone else, someone special. Thank you.